Hopefully, my internet holds up.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. All right. And we are live. Hopefully, my internet holds up. Oh, it got that. Okay.
That was the test. So, no.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. All right. So, welcome, everybody, to the last episode of In the YGO of 2020. It is me, Jello, the casual card gamer. With me tonight is JC Theater YGO, GoldenNovaYugioh, and ArtistWithAfro. As you can all see, we are in our festive gear. We know that there are viewers of different cultures, so instead of saying what we are dressed up as, happy holidays to everybody. We hope that you're all staying safe, and yeah, we hope that you enjoy the days of no work or no school, because I know that I'm going to. But anyway, today is going to be a day of reminiscing and laughter and tears of sadness of things that happened over the year in terms of the Yu-Gi-Oh game and community. And yeah, shall we? Before we start, though, let's ask everybody how they are. I accidentally moved our cameras, so put it back. But anyway, let's start with JC. How have you been since the last episode of In the YGO?
I've been pretty good. My girlfriend actually graduated college. Like, she finished up her bachelor's. Her graduation was yesterday. Of course, it was like an online graduation, but honestly, a lot more cozier and nicer than having to wait a bunch of time for everyone to walk on stage and everything in person. So that was nice. For me, though, I've just been good because since she graduated, that means that my semester is also over with. So that burden of school is no longer on me, and that's about it, though. It's been pretty good so far. I have no complaints, especially since the last time we had the podcast.
That's good to hear. And ArtistWithAfro, how have you been?
I've been pretty good. There was some recent news that came out about somebody getting out of sort of like prison in the OCG. So we might have to talk about something. Wanted to talk about that news recently. But other than that, my break actually starts next Thursday, or this upcoming Thursday. So I'm excited for that. I cannot wait to just end this year off in a sort of more relaxing state. It's been very, very hectic, especially as a teacher. So I'm looking forward to it.
And I agree with you. I could not agree with you more. And GoldenNovaYugioh, how have you been?
Going pretty well. The hiatus has been pretty restful. I've gotten to reach out to a lot of people to work on some stuff. And now I get to pursue my true passion. I just get to play Digimon now. No one can send me to a Yu-Gi-Oh schedule, so you can all deal with it, I guess.
That's right. You have been taking a break this month. But anyway, guys, we have a really fun night planned for you guys. We have a special bit at the end of the show that we're going to be doing, so make sure you stay tuned for that, because that'll be really exciting to say the least. But before we get into all the fun festivities of tonight's show, let's reflect a bit, shall we? Let's look back at 2020's Yu-Gi-Oh products. So there has been a saying going around for quite a while now that this year has been the worst for events but the best for product. And I believe that all of us can agree to that. So, of course, even though we had so many good sets this year, there has to be one that we all hated, and there has to be one that each one of us liked. So, who would like to go first?
Okay, raise your hand if you think you have the spiciest opinion.
All right, let's go.
Thank you for volunteering.
Decided. Yep.
Okay, so Yeah, as Jello had mentioned before, this year was a very, very crazy year for Yu-Gi-Oh product. There was actually so much product here. I actually have like a full list that I wrote down, and I'm looking over it, and I actually didn't even realize that Ignition Assault started our year as like the core set of 2020. Like it feels like Ignition Assault came out a whole year ago.
I was having that exact same revelation. It was crazy.
It's been a long year, a very long year.
But looking at this thing overall, when I came up with the best product for the year, I was thinking about, what are some of the products that have come out that are really good for newcomers, that are enticing for players that have been playing since the beginning or even for a long time, but also work for both casual and competitive players too. So I had a few things here. I narrowed it down to 5, right? My top 5 products for this year, and then I'll do them in any which order, but then we'll kind of like narrow that down to the top one. So my top 5 products were the 2020 Tin of Memories, Dual Overload, Secret Slayers, Maximum Gold, and the Spirit Charmer Structure Deck.
Ooh.
And out of those 5, the one that got the highest in regards to what I think is the top product of this year is a Maximum Gold set, which came out in the sort of second half of our year. Great product for collectors, great product for newcomers, has a lot of really good reprints for those competitive players. And again, introducing this sort of new embossed sort of like premium gold set. I mean, if you look at these cards, like they just look so amazing.
Ew, they look
So
good.
top of the list, best product of 2020. I would recommend it to anybody getting into Yu-Gi-Oh!
All right, and what about the worst this year?
The worst product that I have on this list, it was kind of a toss-up between a structure deck and kind of like a side set. It was either going to be the Sacred Beast structure deck, which I know that Nostalgia kind of like has a higher level, and a lot of people like the GX era, and of course the Sacred Beast really tied back to not only GX, but they also have artistically an homage to the Egyptian god cards. However, there's another set that a lot of people were really looking forward to, had again the same nostalgia thing, especially with its sort of supposed reprints that it was going to have. However, it ended up in its title, it ended up being sort of the second half of the title instead of the first half, which is what everybody thought it was going to be. And as a result, the worst product of the year on my list is none other than Toon Chaos. Toon Chaos came in with its title, and again, people were expecting, Toon Kingdom reprints, a lot of really cool new Toon cards, and instead we got Chaos support. So Thunder Dragon players celebrated, but everybody else kind of just sat behind and looked at themselves with just hands of disappointment.
All right. Personally, I liked Toon Chaos. It probably was lower on the list, but I'm a little partial to it because I kept pulling Renaud. I don't know how you pronounce his name properly. And while he was still up in the $30-$40 range, so I made a lot of my money back. It wasn't even, and Mass Hero Acid was really was a really needed reprint because I didn't want to open up any more of those special tins because they're so expensive. But yeah, I loved Maximum Gold too. Do you guys have any comments, anything you want to say in regard to ArtistWithAfro's list?
I can't wait to get my hands on some Maximum Gold. I haven't gotten any in my hands yet, but just I've seen the photos. I've heard the hype. I want that. I love Ultimate Rare, so having kind of a return to that is something I've been looking forward to for a while. So I think that was an excellent choice.
My comments basically will go into my my answers, actually, like my best and worst, because they're very tied to ArtistWithAfro's answers.
All right.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure you guys had your comments for his, so that way I'm about to talk for a little bit.
Go ahead.
Maximum Gold 100% is the best product of the year in my opinion. Again, just as GoldenNova said, I have a question. That means you haven't touched a premium gold rare card, correct? Or
Not
no?
yet.
They feel amazing. I understand there's a conspiracy as to them bringing back the double sleeving because of it. But just
That's
from a
fair.
perspective of nostalgia, for not only the contents of the cards, but for like ultimate rares and just that special feeling when you were a kid opening up product before you knew what set lists were, before anything, and you just pulled a cool card. That rarity, you can't like watch a YouTube video and know ahead of time what it feels like until you feel it. And it's just so cool. Feels super fake, feels super different, but very, very cool. For sure. Yeah, it's like feels very, very like not like if you would have showed me that like 4 years ago, I would have asked which flea market you got it from, because like they're very they're not like anything else. They're definitely not. But my worst set of the year, Toon Chaos is actually very good. If I could go back and change my answer, that actually might be a contender, but I chose it in my head before this and I'm sticking to it. For me personally, so I will say Toon Chaos probably objectively is the worst set, but for me personally, Dragons of Legend, the complete series, was a flop for me. For me, I've been like buying singles and stuff since like all the Dragons of Legends have come out. So I've gotten everything I've wanted from the set. The only cards I own from that entire set, I didn't purchase a single from it, was Jello. Luckily and thankfully sent me some Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knights during a little Christmas swap we did. Check those out. Personal plug here. But other than that, the set just really flopped for me because I was not interested in literally anything at all in it. But I will say, Jello mentioned this, and I believe his opening of the product, that it's good for people like him and people who weren't around for all those sets since they were years apart and everything, and they have some fan favorite cards. But for me personally, I didn't touch it at all, so that's where my head went with the worst set. So that's my best and worst.
All right. Let's see. So, yeah, maximum gold. I feel like we could all just say maximum gold and be done. I'll choose something else, you know, just for variety's sake, and it also has been on my mind for a bit. But Dragons of Legend Complete Series. How dare you? No, I'm kidding. It was pretty bad.
You.
Yeah, I do agree that it was a pretty bad set, but it was more of the things outside of the actual things you could do with the cards that drew me to it. You know, the dice, the structure of the set in general, following Legendary Duelist Season 1 makes me more excited for things like maybe them doing Battles of Legend complete editions and stuff like that. That would be really good, since some of the cards in those sets have gone up in price. But yeah, I like it. What about you guys?
When I think of Dragons of Legend, I think that the fact that it kind of came out towards the second half of the year, but also came out the same year that Konami announced that we're not doing special editions of our core sets anymore. I kind of looked at this like a special edition,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, I think the worst part is that I didn't consider it because I just didn't even count it as like something worth buying. So I kind of just dismissed it in the sense where it's like, it's lower on my list, but I wouldn't put it as low as like, if I buy it, I know I'm going to get bad product. I just have no rhyme or reason to get any of the cards. However, I do understand that for the nostalgia, for people that are fans of the show, they definitely do have a big draw. But kind of as what I saw it, maybe as my consumer lens, it's like, if this is what's replacing special edition, then I would rather just have special edition.
I 100% agree. Definitely want special editions. Really side thing, but we've already seen in the market, because of no special editions, all like the secret rare staples that don't have special editions, they're still very high and climbing. So I definitely agree that this being a replacement is not working out monetarily.
All right, and Golden
Not for
Nova.
us. Okay, so best product of the year. It wasn't there was no contention. It had to be Phantom Rage. I'm too much of a PK Fire fanboy let anything else get in the way of that. But on top of my blatant bias, I do like how now that core sets are no longer tied to an anime series, we're getting a lot more legacy support now for older themes sprinkled in there, and they're not expensive. It's expansive. Sometimes it's like a card or two, just put it in there. But then you have things like the UAFA stuff, which I but yeah, like UAFA, which really modernized a strategy that I thought was really interesting and needed that kind of push. Whether or not it's meta, we'll see, but I think it makes the deck much more playable, and you'll feel a lot less bad just opening a bunch of level 5s and be like, oh, cool, I will not... Coach, I'm calling for overtime right now. I need to go back to the bench.
All right.
Any thoughts before I go on to the next one?
I definitely agree. Personally, Phantom Rage, everything I pulled from it, I definitely agree that it was a very solid set in terms of, like you mentioned, there being legacy support in general. All those archetypes kind of like hit for me, you know. Other than Infernity, I never really liked that deck too much, but I never disliked it. But like PK Fire, like you said, and just stuff like that, like all these decks that got a boost from that, I definitely agree that was probably the strongest core set in my mind, and I see why you picked it as the best overall for sure, especially since you haven't touched Maximum Gold. That's probably why also.
Very off brand for me. I can't believe, like, you know, gold's in the name, but no.
I think when you think of like Phantom Rage as a set, it's always interesting because like for Rise of the Duelist and for Eternity Code, it's like we're introducing new cards. We have like a whole bunch of new stuff. And Phantom Rage introduced the mutant archetype and the virtual worlds as like their new sets. But a lot of people were already sold on Phantom Rage because they were already playing decks that the set had support for, right? If you were playing Phantom Knights, if you were playing Time Thieves, if you were playing anything Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast, like you got something out of this. So there definitely was a lot of good enticement for that product. What I will kind of like put out there is just, you know, the fact that we've gotten rid of rares means that the one Tri-Brigade, the Silver Sheller, is not in silver text, and I'm just like, come on, yeah, like. It's right there.
Right.
It's better than it being in secret.
True.
That's the only other silver lettering that you got. I personally...
Never mind. I'm changing my answer. Phantom Rage is complete. No.
Trash. No.
No, what's up?
I loved Phantom Rage. Personally, because of the Phantom Knight stuff. I actually... Whether it was the art or just how hard it was to pull any of it, but yeah, I love the Phantom Knights, and as well as Farragut, the Baron Blossom, looks amazing, as well as there was one, oh yeah, of course, the mutants they're really, really, really cool, but there was one, yeah, it was probably the Infernities that I didn't like. That was the only thing. Whenever I would pull a booster off camera, I would look at the bottom of the card first, and I'd see, oh, it's a synchro. Bam! What is this? Infernity? No. But yeah, I loved Phantom Rage. Definitely high up there for me.
And for the worst set, it's Toon Chaos, everyone. It's the worst set. ArtistWithAfro basically went over every point that I was going to bring up. Everyone was looking forward for Toon cards that were going to make it some kind of playable. It was the main driving force, but it ended up just being, hey, you want to play Chaos Dragons, kids? Well, here's a way to... Remember when we limited Collapse Serpent and... their weird brother? Well, now it doesn't matter because you have chaos space. It's like, oh,
that makes sense.
And like it was, I think I went through every one because previously I was like, I got to be ready to talk about every one of these as we're going through them, and I was making lists on all of them. And a note that kept coming up was Toon Chaos, no Toon Kingdom reprint. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Battles of Legend collection. No Toon Kingdom reprint. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. And to go all the way until what was it, Legendary Duelist Season 1 before it finally showed up. And I was like, oh, come on. It was
Oh,
such
no,
a
it was,
letdown.
it was in Dragons of Legend complete edition, complete series, that it got reprinted.
which was after season 1, so
Okay.
it was even longer. Like,
You're right. I had those two swapped. You're right. Yeah. So no, I was really looking forward to it. Toon Blackluster Soldier is such a bomb card in like the good way. Like it's like you drop it and it affects the board state like crazy, but nothing else really enables it. So maybe next time Konami dips into the nostalgia well, maybe Toons will finally get there. But for now, it's and Genesis Impact is now taking on the same rarity structure as Toon Chaos instead of using the previous deck build pack one I really liked, and that is what really gets stuck in my craw. I hate that. I hate it.
Yeah, it'll be harder to pull stuff for out of the box now. I don't know. Like I said.
Sorry,
with,
I had a lot of feelings.
I like Toon Chaos. I liked it. Not a whole ton, but I liked it. Helped me with my sealed only series.
And good, everyone's experience with packs are going to be different. I hope this doesn't come off as, the rule of law, but no, like there were so many things that just like needled me every time I like visited Toon Chaos in my head. I'm like, oh no.
Makes sense.
I'm glad that's behind us personally.
but it's not even truly behind us because, like you said, it literally set a precedent for them to make side sets, the rares, supers, and ultras. That real side tangent also, and I think I might have spoken about this on a podcast in the past, but the fact that these random archetypes that would never be printed in a high-ish rarity that would be in the side sets now have no chance of being reprinted later on in like secret and ultra and stuff like Nephis and stuff like that. Like, if they were in a core set, they would be like FAs, like commons, rares, and maybe a few supers. So it's kind of sad too, but I definitely agree that's probably the longest lasting impact. It was so bad, it ruined Yu-Gi-Oh forever.
Ruined Yu-Gi-Oh forever.
Next thumbnail, boom, put it in there. Yu-Gi-Oh's ruined.
Oh no, Konami might hear it. They won't give us a sponsorship anymore. We're gonna have to rely on Raid Shadow Legends and Raycon earbuds.
Wait,
Raycon earbuds.
Wait, Jello, you're not talking about Raid Shadow Legends, the premier dark fantasy game for mobile where you can collect several heroes and then upgrade their equipment and run them through dungeons and raids?
I was. Oh my god.
Oh wow. Hey, the shadows.
Oh man.
Lighting equipment being.
Does anybody want to say their piece on Golden Nova's list?
I mean, Toon Chaos. I've said what I had to say. In fact, in the last podcast that I was on, I also mentioned something about Toon cards specifically, where it's like Konami has a different playstyle, right? Similar to Gemini, similar to Spirit Monsters, right? But with Toon Monsters in particular, it was something that was different because you have this thing that can artistically span across all animation styles, right? Mm-hmm. If you're going to introduce a Toon set, why not take what you did with Dual Overload and make some of your cards black and white? Why not take something like, change the art of your Toon so that way it's following something that's not rubber hose animation, but like Ghibli animation or something. Like, make the Toon cards like as they move with the generations. If we were to get like a Toon Neos or a Toon Utopia, have it be like of a different artistic style to follow like with the genre. And unfortunately, what we got was collector's rare extravagance and a whole bunch of chaos cards. Just like Toon Kingdom should have been in Toon Chaos. I don't see there being a reasonable sort of statement as to why it wasn't in there, and that kind of just irks me a little bit more as well.
That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, actually. Toon Kingdom's just getting pooped on, guys. JC, any pennies to put in the pot?
I think, like I said, Toon Chaos just set a precedent that was bad, and then I agree with Phantom Rage. I would say if we were just talking about core sets, for sure that would be at the top for me. But yeah, I think I said what needed to be said by me, at least, for for my worst and best, and for everyone else's as well.
All right. Before I say my list, I just want to acknowledge everybody who's in the chat. We have Fusion Yu-Gi-Oh! We have ArtistWithAfro. We have Fatal Basil. We have JC3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Ontario Frost. The Death Machine. We have Crystal Abundance. Don't know if Shiggy's is still here. Hi, Shiggy's, if you're still here. We have Noel and Raining Card Games. And he also says, but have you heard of Ridge Wallets? Oh my gosh. You mean
preferred box?
Yeah, I get to throw out my old wallets. It's been using old technology for several years now. Now I get to have it all in one convenient place where I can easily take it out.
Perfect. There we go. We're never gonna get sponsored by any of these people anymore.
No.
All right. So my list is very personal. So, one of the things that I was thinking about when making my list was what caught my eye every time I was walking around Walmart and any other place that just had them on the shelf. And the biggest thing that caught my eye was Legendary Duelist 6 Magical Hero, the one with Yugi and Atem, sorry, and the Dark Magicians on it. And the contents are really good. I like the magician support in it, and of course Elemental Hero Sunrise. He's a beautiful beast and is the mascot of my channel basically. So that is my favorite set of the year. Crystal Abundance is here. Hey.
Sunrise.
Yeah, I love Elemental Hero Sunrise. Reminds me of a kabuki, you know. And the worst set of the year, in my opinion, has to be Maximum Gold, because there's no Adjusted Gold. Just like Golden Nova said that he has never touched a Maximum Gold pack. And it's in his name. Maximum Gold had no Adjusted Gold in it, and I feel like that is a farce. I don't understand why they didn't put it in. No, I'm kidding. The worst set for me personally this year was Legendary Duelist 7, Rage of Ra. 1, because I didn't really care for Ra. 2, Mech Lords are nice, but don't really interest me at all. The only thing that has any saving grace in that set for me is Jinzo's, and I never bothered touching them after I opened any of the sets. But yeah, Rage of Ra just felt very very boring to me, I guess, in terms of what you could do with its contents. It would have made for a very fun out of the box episode, just because none of us would have wanted to play anything. But yeah, I just did not like the set. I felt forced to open it when I did, and the only thing that sort of kept me going was maybe I'll get the Ghost Rare, but I never did. So yeah, that is my take on this year's worst set in my opinion. Raining Card Games says Charmer structure deck for failing to deliver evenly. That's not the structure deck's fault. That's Konami's fault.
Structure deck's fault that they decided not to include evenly matched. That's their fault.
Yeah.
What's crazy is that actually took second place on my best product list.
Yeah, I like the Charmer structure deck. I bought 3. I haven't opened them yet. Most of the time when I buy structure decks randomly, it's just as a set piece for my videos. But yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's mine. Legendary Duelist 6 and Legendary Duelist 7. If I could put Legendary Duelist 5 there because of frickin' Bane and a Dusted Gold, then I would, but that was last year, so yeah.
I do like how the Charmer structure deck started like utilizing this design space of activating summons from the deck.
Yeah.
I am curious to see where that goes in the future. It's not the first time they've done that. There were other charmers that did that beforehand, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and Black Metal Dragon and Metal Zoa also did that way back. I think those are the only ones. I might be missing a really random card, but yeah.
Let me stack my.
Yeah, but no one watched Joey versus Bandit Keith. Who cares about those two characters from Dick? What are they in, like 2 episodes?
So true. But yeah, that is it for our lists for the best and worst products of the year, guys. What do you guys think? Let us know in the chat, and we'll get to them, as we chug along on the show. The next topic that we have is looking back at 2020 and how the space has evolved since January 1st, 2020. So personally, I have only actually been on YouTube since I want to say like end of March or early April. So my insight is very limited, so I guess I could start with this, but I think that because my sort of exposure to YugiTubing before trying it myself was always just product opening. So I hadn't seen Nimhim's Sealed Only. I hadn't seen any of the market watches or anything. So I think that with the progression series and all these other different ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh being shown, in videos and streams, skits, people like King Scarlet and Team APS, they're doing a really good job with what they're doing. And I think that we're moving in a really good direction, because I feel like if we were to make this like a high school movie, this is probably like the biggest class, like biggest entering class. So it's been really, really fun so far, and I'm loving the ride. What about you guys?
I very much enjoy being part of your Class 1A. It's been a treat. Dang it, I said something. I have to keep going. No, I don't know if this is a byproduct of having actually gone to full throttle this year on content making. But I met each and every one of you this year. I don't think I knew any of you beforehand. And it's been outstanding. There's been so many people who have just blown onto the scene, like Bear. I don't think I'd heard of Distant Coder until, I don't know if he's been doing anything since before this year. I really think I never want to look back on 2020 fondly. There's too much negativity to ever attribute this time of our lives to be anything super positive. But I think something that a lot of people that I heard would happen has happened, where people have had a lot of time to double down on their hobbies and what they want to do. And we've seen a lot of that funneled effort bear fruit. And so we have a lot more cool, interesting content makers in our sphere, making cool, new, interesting stuff. Despite people arguing and being mad that everything's copy pasted, everyone's flavor is wonderful, and I've been enjoying everything about it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, this year has just been so amazing for people to just really explore their hobby and come together as a collective in all things like Yu-Gi-Oh, YugiTubing, etc. There have been so many different things that have gotten me more excited about Yu-Gi-Oh every time I go on YouTube, when I see something like the Progression series, or I see Raining Card Games and his Yu-Gi-Oh Wilderness series, or I watch a funny King Scarlet skit, and these are people that I see that are actively doing certain things, right? I tout, and I'm a big fan of lore, anybody that knows me. And when when you made the video on the Dogmaticas, I was like, this is amazing. This is what I want to see more from, something that I love to do. And especially with understanding that, everybody has had different challenges, and this year has been so hard on so many different people. Finding those small little slivers of joy but also really like recognizing those opportunities that it's allowed other people to have. We had the first sort of like all sort of, and correct me if I'm using the wrong language here, but we had like an all-female podcast of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, women in Yu-Gi-Oh! have their own podcast. They have more representation, I think, now than I think they've ever had before. Cypher Cards has brought in a lot of other YugiTubers for an A to Z tournament. You have people doing charity streams. Head-to-head battles have come out of nowhere, right? It's like there's so much of an explosion of positivity in this card game that like it kind of gave me a more rejuvenated sort of like not encouragement, inspiration. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but excitement for the game. And I'm really, really excited to see what each and every one of you are doing with this next year as we go into it, but also like just thanking all of you for making this year a little bit better for me as well.
Awesome. And JC?
I definitely agree with what everyone said so far in terms of this being like a very excuse me, I'm not getting emotional, I just had to clear my throat, but maybe a little bit emotional. But everyone in the community space has been absolutely, it's just been an explosion of creativity. To touch on Nova's point about like everyone's own flavor, of course there will always be critics about like, oh, you do deck profiles, that's so unoriginal, but like how like people have done their own version of like sealed only. The progression series I think was very like original and has led to a lot of other like ceilings have been broken. I'm just using progression series as an example, but so many ceilings have been broken in the Yu-Gi-Oh space. Like this time, like 3 years ago, it was like talking to a camera or just like showing like a deck profile or an opening, but now it's like Nim with his like vlog infusion and like stuff like that. Golden Nova's style of like talking about lore with like a bunch of like images on the screen and stuff, which I personally also really like, especially the lore things and like the explained just in general. And also real quick, just because we're throwing kudos everywhere, ArtistWithAfro, your ice barrier structure deck skit, I think about that every time I think of you. That was the comedic points in it, just all of them hit for me personally. Like it was very, very solid and very, very funny. And then of course Jello has taught me about heroes, and also just like that for openings in particular, I have to really like the person in terms of like their delivery and stuff, as opposed to just like, you know, like the cards and stuff. So like the fact that you like have that calm delivery and everything, and just like the camera quality and stuff, like I don't really watch many openings except you. I don't even like doing openings myself. It's just that I buy product and I have to figure out a tax reason or something for it, you know, so I gotta film it. But just this year in general, also like how you mentioned the Harpy Sisters podcast, I believe it's called, just in general on Twitter. This was my first year. I started YugiTube myself last year. I've been watching YugiTube for years now, but this was my first year on Twitter, and I've seen just like the community. I don't know if I've been like randomly stumbling on them or if it really has been as much of an explosion as it seems, but everything just seems bigger and better, and also thanks to Logan Paul and everything like that, we're gonna make some serious bank with all our cards that we purchased back when they were cheaper. So overall, I think this has been a super good year in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh, the space in general. I want to go to the chat real quick though. Fatal Basil asked, I think before any of us or before you, Jello, started, or it might have been during, did you join YouTube because of extra time from the pandemic? I'm assuming that is to you, Jello, since you're the only one who mentioned like you started like in March.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to answer that, or if you have an answer.
Yeah, I was actually gonna answer once we were all done, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
I did start. I started YugiTubing because of the pandemic. I do have a very tiny music channel, but I haven't really touched it in a while. I just put stuff. Even on my Facebook page, I haven't done anything in I'm probably half a year now. But yeah, I did start YugiTubing because of the pandemic, and to be honest, a couple of months ago, I did feel a little burnout just because I didn't really know what to do. But it's you know, like all the things that have been happening recently, it's sort of lit the fire in me again. So yeah, it's been really fun.
All
And,
thanks to Maximum Gold.
Yeah,
That's what's been happening recently.
Noel Uwu is
So
here.
Jello, would you say that
Yeah.
your resolve was forged in some kind of a fire? I don't know what's the word. We'll find it later.
Yeah, we'll find it later. But let's see. Noel Uwu says hello. Smile face really big. Who else
Uwu.
is here? Zombie Slayer is here as well. Zombie Slayer 9000. What's up? What's up? I play Among Us every once in a while, but I'm not good at it. All I ever do is turn off the oxygen and hope nobody and then just what I like to do personally, regardless of whether or not I'm a crewmate or the imposter, I just like to follow one person around and see what happens. I always just follow.
Played one time with Crystal Abundance, and I was never the imposter over like the 3 or 4 times that we played. But I had the reverse problem where I always singled out the wrong person. And I was like, you're the one who did it, and I always messed all of us up. I'm so bad.
So funny.
Just made a note that we have to have a YugiTuber Among Us game now.
Yeah, YugiTuber Among Us, a Fall Guys tournament too. You know, that'd be so fun. But
Oh yeah, they're called like beans, right?
Mhm.
Guys, what if we made the Jerry Bean skin?
oh my goodness, that'd be awesome. But anyway, JC JC mentioned in our pre-meeting that we should probably talk about the ban list, or else we'll get blasted on streams for not talking about it, since we are kind of in the Yugi now. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the ban list and the Firewall Dragon errata that happened in the OCG? OCG hasn't happened here yet, so we'll see what happens with that. But what are your thoughts? I'm kind of indifferent to anything. The only thing that kind of made me sad was Destruction Sword being banned, but what Kenya does. So yeah. That's it. Yeah, I don't like doing ban list reactions.
Waiting for something to change.
Oh, yeah. Huh? Oh no. Zane, where are you at?
I'm still waiting for them to actually drop a ban list because I don't did anything. Oh no, I'm here now.
Yeah, you're here.
Okay, cool. I can stop doing my silly dance. Okay, no, I'm still waiting for a ban list to drop. Have you guys seen anything? Because I don't see anything. Has anything changed?
Yeah, my Internet Explorer is kind of, still updating. So still trying to get Microsoft Edge.
No, I'm glad Smoke Grenade is gone. I'm upset that Levianeer will now be doing the hand ripping from now on. So
yeah.
Sure.
I think we all saw it, like, this list coming. I mean, Farfa, DZ, if everybody said it, it's like this was the list of like the I told you so, but everybody saw what was going to happen. Smoke Grenade was destroying the meta.
Yeah.
Dragon Buster, the only reason my theory around it, and I remember I put this out when the last ban list came out and he didn't get hit, I was like, they're not going to hit him because Dragoonities are coming out, and Dragoonity players would like just abuse this power, and I think that they want to make this like a viable strategy because Konami loves dragon cards. But when he got hit, it was just like, oh, okay, so he actually is able to get hit. Hulk is going to be untouchable. Maybe actually Hulk's probably going to stay untouchable until like this time next year, I think. My guess is that he's going to get reprinted in the next 2020 Megaton alongside some of the other cards that we didn't get this year.
You got to play that, so.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
it's untouchable.
It's like all of the cards that we saw, totally awesome, and ABC should have been to 3 in the last list. It's just we're moving in this era where it's like with all of the new product that's coming out, the cards that they didn't hit for a reason because we have all of this product that's going to be supported by it.
It's all political now, guys. It's not about it's not about keeping the peace. It's just about selling product.
It always has been. That's the secret.
Common people don't pay. The common people don't pay your checks. Pro Yu-Gi-Oh player. It's dragons. Dragons cut the checks around here.
Right, JC? Wait, so it's always been political? Always has been.
Oh man. Zombie Slayer 9000 says he has to go. Thanks for dropping by.
Hi.
And Sakura
Play
is
another
here.
one, please.
Let's see. Sakura says Konami bans my favorite cards that are underrated, but even in the game, it's a meme. It happens. It sucks when it does, but like I said, what can you does? But yeah, JC, what are your thoughts?
To bring it full circle a little bit from our conversation earlier, I'm sad about the Buster combo being removed from the game because that was my best strategy in Sacred Beasts. So, and that's why I like the structure deck. But another thing is ultimately I haven't been in the loop with the metagame too much, so this didn't really affect me. Like everyone said, it's kind of like the like I told you so ban list. Nothing was surprising. I understand they could have hit more. This felt really safe, and on a personal level, I didn't have to go through all my decks and take out like a copy of Called by the Grave again. So ultimately, this was a very good ban list for me personally because I didn't have to do anything except add more cards to my BA deck. So so this was a win, and I like it a lot. So
Makes sense. All right, so let's see. Fusion Yu-Gi-Oh says he has to go. Thank you for dropping by.
Bye.
This year-end special.
We get your gold or beaver warrior.
What else did we have on the thing? Oh yeah, the Firewall Dragon reprint, the errata. So do you think it's gonna get what do you think the chances of them bringing it back here are with the errata?
I think it's pretty.
Oh, you go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, I was just gonna say, I think there's been a pretty good track record of something getting errated in the OCG translating over here, like Mikura the Destroyer, Destroyer.
That thing.
Which one is it? I'm
It
sorry.
came from that bad set this year, so it came from the worst set this year, so no one cares.
Yeah.
You're the terrible Wolverine impersonator.
So I think it'll probably come over here, and honestly, it being because I read it early this morning, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it just made everything a hard once per turn, right?
Yeah.
Or once while it's face up on the field, right? Something is just straight up like once period. I think. I'm not sure. It
just says
bounce
you can only use
has
both
always
abilities once per
been.
turn.
Oh, okay. Then what changed? I've never played with Firewall.
Me neither.
I shouldn't have been the first one to speak. So, so I'm gonna take it over. Give it over to Zane here now.
It's like the bounce effect is once while it's on the field, and the previous version was anytime a monster left its link point, you got to summon something from your hand. But now they've made both of them technically a once per turn with how they format it in the OCG. But the first effect still has that formatting at the beginning where once Waltus is on the field.
Okay. So that's all I had to say. I think it'll probably come over here, and it's always good when something that powerful gets errata. I will say usually the classic cards that get that treatment I don't like because you kind of lose the flavor and the power of like such strong cards like Brain Control, for instance. And but this one I feel like since it's universally hated almost, so it's like a good thing that we changed it to be more likable, if anything else.
Yeah,
And of course, less
they turned down the
abusable for
settings.
sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not as much protection anymore. And ArtistWithAfro, how do you feel about the errata?
I think that, well, what we need to look at is that this is to my knowledge, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the only other protagonist card that has ever like been either so powerful that it's had to be either limited or banned in a sense, right? And previously, the only other card that I can think of is Exodia, with the 5 pieces being all limited to 1. So as a protagonist card, I'm glad that it's back. I was really surprised that it was as powerful as it was, and it warranted the ban. But seeing it back is going to do good because now when the legendary set for Yusaku, right? I think that's the main character's name. Yeah, when the legendary set for him comes out, or if they do some sort of side set, they can now reprint a different Firewall Dragon. So thanks Konami for bringing him back. He lives again.
He got a patch update, and now he's not as good.
Exactly.
Oh, I hate how perfectly that works. Son of a...
He's now a VPN. He's now a VPN dragon, right? Are you tired of waiting for the OCG ban list to update? Right? Sometimes you can't check the ban list if you're in a different region. Well, we have Firewall VPN.
Ow!
Oh man. I'm putting my what do you call it? My Christmas holiday tinfoil hat on and saying that they're probably gonna toss it in Ghosts from the Past, since it's still haunting people as a ghost rare.
Ghosts from the Past, if we're basing it off of their corny track record, and this, again, is kind of weird that you mentioned that a Dusted Gold didn't get into Maximum Gold, right? When Eldritch the Golden Lord got into that set, I guess now what we need is the Ghost Tricks to be in the Ghost of the Past set, right?
Oh, no. Well,
if we get a Ghost Rare, I'm gonna go crazy.
Oh man, Konami's, they're so punny. But anyway, I think that's it for in terms of things that have been moving around. There have been a few sort of set leaks for things that are happening in the OCG, but since it's the OCG, we'll wait a little bit longer before we talk about those things. And it's the end of the year, and the last thing you want to do is talk about work, right? So, one thing that I wanted to do with these three gentlemen with me today was play a game. I want to play a game.
Shiver.
So this
you explain
game.
the rules. I'm gonna go. I'll be right back.
Okay, so this game changed a little bit in its conceptualization. It started out as us choosing 3 cards that we think each of the other members of this group would play outside of what they are known for. So, for example, for ArtistWithAfro, I would probably choose Ancient Warriors, even though he's very heavily linked to that, and so on and so forth. And we would all guess who would play that deck. But JC came up with an even better idea that instead of doing that, we would show our guilty pleasures in terms of what we like to put in our decks. This is this is what gets us on Santa's naughty list. So each of us gave 3 tech choices that we like to put in our decks that people would find weird, or I guess isn't normal for people to put. And
revolting.
Yeah. I wouldn't say revolting, but we could go. I guess we could go that way. Some of those elitists would be like, "Why are you putting that in that deck?" But yeah. So there are 12 cards that each of us like to put in a specific deck, and we all have to guess whose tech choice that is, basically. And just to make it a little more fun, and since it's the holidays, we thought that we'd add a little more pleasure to it. If 3 of the 4 of us, well, of course, if the 3 people who don't use that card guess who gave that card, that person has to take a swig of it's supposedly eggnog, but turns out my eggnog has been expired for 4 years, so I can't drink mine. So I'm gonna have some JDs.
You're going hard mode.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, my first 3 years of college, I would come home at 3 o'clock in the morning almost every night, completely blasted on brandy and other fun things. But anyway, and we talked about this a little bit before the show, but we weren't able to consult with Kai. We said that if we don't guess the person correctly, then everybody but that person has to take one. Yeah, but we'll go small. Okay, we'll go small.
Yeah, we'll do like small sips.
Yeah. So and this is the only tiny cup that I have in my house, so it's only gonna be like that much. I don't know where all our shot glasses are, but yeah, that is going to be the game, guys. So this is the guess who's naughty list thing that is. There's no smoother way that I can. But we are going to take a 30-second intermission just to get everything ready. So JC, if you could get all that stuff, if you could get your screen share ready.
Okay.
All right. I'm actually kind of nervous because I have always been
This is
very.
all that's on my screen, so you'll have to let me know when it can. You can see it and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I can see. Okay. And here we are, guys. Are you all ready for what is about to happen? Because I'm not.
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right. Okay. So let's get it on, shall we? First card.
Okay.
First tech is Slacker, Magician, and Azer. Okay. What does this do? I actually should have read these before. I can't read it. What does it does? What does this does? Okay.
So it takes 2 level 1 monsters, and once per turn, this card cannot be destroyed by battle. And during either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets this face-up card, you can detach an Xyz material and negate the activation and destroy that card. 200 attack and a 2100 defense on this thing. And Aesir, for those of you who are unaware, is Nordics and all that good stuff. Odin, Thor, Loki. I'm sounding pretty suspicious. I know so much about this.
I was about to say you explained this really well.
Right? Like,
Aza Yu-Gi-Oh is in the house.
Pretty sus.
Hi, Aza. Alexis, you actually came in for the best part of the show tonight. So we are going to guess whose tech this is in their Azer deck. So when I feel like this is going to turn into
it's like Among Us.
Yeah, it's like Among Us. We're all gonna turn on each other. Azer. When I hear Azer, there are 2 people in general that I think of first, and that's Nova and JC. I don't know why. I just have a feeling it's one of you 2.
It is very lore based. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So to defend and also counter argue,
Okay.
we can go 2 routes with this.
Okay.
One, we can say it's you, Jello, since out the gate you started accusing everyone else
I
but
had to
yourself.
start the conversation.
Another thing is, since I know it's not me, it's definitely one of you 3. So that also narrows it down. That's a pretty good 25% deduction there. I kind of am leaning towards Nova also, sadly. Sorry to throw you under the bus with Jello. This just doesn't feel, but not like this feels like a Nova card, but rather this doesn't feel like a Jello or an Artist with a Fro archetype or card. But then again, I feel like Artist with a Fro respects this card, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like he would look at this card and be like, that can be used in things. And this is, after all, being used in a thing. So it's either Nova or Artist with a Fro. That's my final preliminary yes.
Okay. So the way that we should probably do this, we should all type in our answer in the chat. All right. So
okay.
I'm looking at the chat right now, and Alexis says she feels like it might be JC.
Okay. I thought we were cool. We still are, but a little less.
My question is, what are the level 1s in Acer that are making this?
That's
That's a good
right?
question.
And this is where I'm thinking that JC might, because I feel like you were just about to answer that question, and I'm just like, that's.
Oh, no.
This is a very interesting.
Threw himself under the bus.
No, I have a course in there. I was gonna pull it out and look, but
yeah. That's what
I'm
they
gonna
all
type
say.
my guess now.
Okay.
All right, my guess is going in.
Okay. One.
We type it in the wait. So we type it in the Discord chat, or in the, I was about to say this
in the YouTube chat. YouTube chat.
Okay.
In the YouTube
Well,
chat.
whatever you
I
want
can't
to
access
know.
Discord right now.
Okay. So, are you guys ready?
Okay.
Yep.
3,
Oh, okay.
2. Well, I see.
Oh.
I was gonna send them.
Oh gosh. Okay. So it's all on Nova now. Who do you think it is?
Well, am I not send?
Oh, he sent it in his burner account.
Out of my alt account. Get son of a. Now everyone Now everyone in China knows you run an alt account everywhere. Jeez. Yeah, no, I put it on JC.
Okay. So whose card is this?
No one watched the videos on there. You don't want to. Trust me.
Whose card is this?
So there are actually there's actually one level.
What?
There is one level 1 Acer monster that allows itself to double summon when it's normal summoned, which means that you can actually turbo out Slacker Magician turn 1 of your turn in an Acer deck.
Oh man, this is not how I saw it. This is not how I thought it would go. Okay. Let's go.
So I guessed correctly. Does that mean I'm safe?
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that.
Or do I still
Right.
I think
And
that's
then-
fair. I think that's
Yeah,
fair.
that's fair.
And then do I have to take a drink if I'm like revealing that that I had the card? Or...
No, only
No,
if we guessed
you're
you.
safe.
I gotcha.
Like all 3.
So a little bit more information, right? Nordic Monsters, of course, are
Cheers,
a fan favorite from the 5Ds era. But also, they recently got a link support in the Legendary Heroes set, which came out, I believe, if not last year, then 2 years ago. So, other really good support for them. Slack Magician is one of my favorite Exceed monsters, and that is also why it is almost in every of my decks. Yep.
Damn.
Okay.
I have to eat
Next one
dinner after
on
this.
the
so this is
screen.
fun.
Let's go.
All right, next. Dark Hole in TG.
Dark Hole in TG. Destroy all monsters on the field.
That I can jive with. I can see that.
What did
Okay,
TGs
so who's
do?
playing 2002 format?
I took a hiatus at this when TGs came out.
Really? Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good
I'm like, yeah.
I feel like I've been pretty transparent with when I stopped playing. Okay.
Like everyone, go through Jello speeds and figure out if they have a abiding love for you.
Okay, are you guys ready? Do we have any emergency meeting?
So I just want to say, with I hate to go back to back on this, but ArtistWithAfro has showed us that he likes 5D's era decks. So I think I might double vote.
Okay.
For him in a row, but I'm just throwing that out there because I understand we can't go like super in-depth conversation because there's 12 of these, but I at least want to say my piece before we vote.
Okay.
In my defense, I have no idea what Tech Genus do. I know that they have that one synchro Hyper Librarian, and that's about it. I don't know if Dark Hole is a good card in Tech Genus. I feel like it's one of those things that you have kind of like a magic cylinder, so you can catch somebody by surprise. And when I think of like surprising people, it's either this is either GoldenNova or JC. That's my thought about it.
The fact that you know what TG means is pretty incriminating in itself.
What?
I don't know what that means. I'm changing my answer.
I'm ready whenever
So
you are.
hot. Okay. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 1, 2,
Yes.
3, go.
Oh, we have a tie.
Who is this? Whose is this? Oh, I think.
So Tech Genus have an effect that activates when a lot of them are destroyed by a card effect. You get like a delayed search later on in like the end phase or something. I don't even remember. I haven't played in a while.
Oh my gosh.
It was mine. This was my pick.
I was completely off. Nice redirection there.
Thank you.
I had a
Toast
feeling.
to board
I had
wipes.
a feeling. I had a feeling. I don't know why.
Eggnog tastes like what you're supposed to brush your teeth with at the dentist office. Why do people drink that?
Yeah.
It's only for holidays. It's like a meeting with family you don't really want to spend time with too much, you know? It's just something you have to do around the holidays. So that's what eggnog is. But I'm gonna I can't see what you guys are doing, so please let me know if I'm going too fast with the slide changes, but I'm gonna go on the next one. Is that okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Battle Wasp pin the bullseye in trap tricks.
Oh God,
All right. Pin the bullseye.
Okay.
If you control
What does
the
this orb do?
Okay. So I'll start by saying that I know for a fact that JC has a Battle Wasp deck core. So this might be his. But the fact that one of the card just before this was his, so I don't know how this was all structured.
I will say, real quick, we all sent our lists to my girlfriend who actually like made this and like found the card pictures and everything. So thank you very much. Shout out her. But she put this in a randomizer. So there was no like human like to check if things would be back to back or not. You know, this is completely randomized. So just a heads up with that. But this isn't mine, but I'm just saying that it's randomized.
I don't know. I just finished reading this card, and this is actually a really good card. It seems to be that first effect is actually really insane. If you control an insect monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. That's like, okay. I feel like there need to be cards like that for every archetype. So thank you, JC, for introducing me to this new card. I will be sure to put your name on
I was going to say, you sounds a little patting on the back how good you're calling this card, if you ask me.
Nova's been pretty quiet.
So
Nova's been pretty quiet.
Oh, is it my turn to be on the board? Because I'd like to point out that Jello, like, immediately was like, DC has a Battle Wasp deck.
Yeah. True. Very true.
If you guys choose me, you will be drinking. Just letting you know right now.
Friggin' no matter what, baby. I'm gonna win right now.
Oh man.
So I just want to say right before we vote, I hate to triple dip. I feel like this is ArtistWithAfro again because I feel like he plays trap tricks. Out of everyone here, I feel like he's the only one with the trap tricks deck. But I feel like this kind of ingenuity with it actually being like a pretty decent tech, my mind goes to Nova. So I think it's either of them. No offense, Jello. I guess you're not cool enough to play trap tricks or advanced deck building level to tech Battle Wasp, but I think I'm going to go Nova with this one. But okay.
Okay. It hasn't been Nova yet, so.
Yeah, that's also what I'm thinking, based on just.
Gambler's fallacy, though. Just because it hasn't been me yet doesn't mean that it's gonna be me.
That is true, because it hasn't been Jello either. Oh,
that's very true.
Yeah, no, it hasn't. Yeah. Wow, we're only on number 3. I feel like this has been a very fun day.
Yeah. Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Folks, it's just this for the rest of the night.
All right. Before we do this, okay. Okay.
Oh.
Never mind. Everybody in the chat, you should also, type your guesses in. It might help us out, You might have insider knowledge from some of our streams or something like that. So help
Seeing
us
that
out.
profiles, yeah.
All right, so Nova hasn't typed anything in, so are we right?
There we go. Sorry.
Okay.
So Trap Tricks just got new support, and they have,
No.
and of their new support, they received a reborning Trap Tricks Link monster that only requires an insect, either an insect or a plant monster, 2 of them. So there are 2 cards in this game that I think or 2 extender types that I think are really good. Either normal summon extender types, where if you control a monster, you can send it from your hand, or what I call harp horror extender types, like malicious, where it's you have this card in your graveyard, you banish it, and then you get another monster. And Pin the Bullseye is insanely good for not only Trap Tricks, but also insect monsters in general.
It doesn't have any restrictions, so I mean, I can see that.
You
And
know
the burn
what?
damage.
The next time there's a level
What's
1
the burn
monster in this list, I am automatically choosing Kai.
Okay, number 4. Parallel Exceed in Dark Worlds. This is a relatively new card, so I'm not going to read that also because I can't really read this anyway. But, yeah.
Okay.
Who plays Dark Worlds?
What?
What's the Dark World combo that gives you a Link monster, and you specifically want to rank 4 after that?
Is there is there a Dark World Link monster? That's the first question.
I don't
There's
think
a-
so.
I don't think
There's
so.
Archfiend one for Terror King Archfiend.
Seem to know a lot about those potential Dark World techs, huh? Huh, Nova?
Pretty sus. Pretty sus.
Okay, fair. Hustle it out.
This is such an odd tag because
I love to figure stuff like this out. That's my channel, so that's just what I would do anyway.
I don't even think the fact that this tech just seems so odd to me, because from what I know of Dark Worlds, it's from my knowledge, Dark Worlds don't summon a lot of Link monsters, so maybe there's some new combo that I am not privy to. But who here would play Dark Worlds? I feel like this would be a Jello card only because if he quit before 5Ds, Dark Worlds were really big around that time. So maybe this might be your card here.
I didn't even know Dark Worlds
I
were
agree.
a 5Ds thing.
No, they weren't. Dark Worlds were a GX thing, and I know that you're a big Hero fan.
I don't know.
So
Yeah, I agree. It's Jello. I feel like he's talked about Dark Worlds before in some form or fashion. I think he mentioned the Grapha reprint being weird in Maximum Gold. So yeah, I feel like he's the only one who I could see playing Dark Worlds, like actually having a Dark World deck. Everyone here.
I don't know. You did post that absolutely enormous pile of deck cores. Anything could be hiding in there.
That's so true. Oh man.
All right, I'm ready with my vote.
Probability-wise, it's between Jello and me, and it's not me, so it's Jello.
Okay, vote in, including the audience. Vote in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I have to type mine first. I counted down before typing. Okay.
Okay. There we go.
I hate
Okay.
you all.
Yes.
Of course, the first one you all get right is mine.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Yes.
So you gotta let us know why.
What
Okay.
Link monster are you using
So-
with this card?
I play Danger Dark Worlds. So like spamming stuff out is really easy. So most of the time you could probably go into a Link Karibo if you have this in your hand. Or the usual thing that I like doing is climbing into Boral Sword by going any danger thing, getting as long as you get 2 dark monsters on the field, you can go into Wee Witch's Apprentice, get this out, and then do some other stuff from there. But a lot of the time, the other way that I get into it is with Dugaris the Timeless, actually. So you get 2 level 4s, put them together. Dugaris the Timeless, draw 2, discard 1. Or, yeah, draw 2, discard 1. Because it doesn't really matter that you lose your next draw phase, because you get to draw so much anyway. But yeah. Parallel Exceed lets me get into Boral Sword or other stuff that I feel like I need on the field. But yeah. Boral Sword Turbo.
Number 5. Griffin's Feather Duster in Unchained. Destroy all spell and trap cards on your side of the field and increase your life points by the number of destroyed cards times 500 points? Is it 500?
I can't read it. I think that's 500.
I think it says
Well, I will applaud anyone who this actually is that didn't
really
scream
combo.
out the actual correct answer, because that was my first trap to see who it was.
You intentionally make it you intentionally make it blurry. Like, let's lure him out.
Like, I censor the effect. I'm like, okay, so who wants to tell us what this does?
Well played. Well played.
Sorry,
So
go ahead.
obviously, the person who put this in was Distant Coder. The whole deal Unchained. So, everyone get in chat.
I don't know.
No.
I feel like it might be JC just because we talked about it a couple of months ago that he wanted to try Unchained. But I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Nova
Yeah,
just
I
because he
haven't
hasn't been voted on yet. So
Okay.
I'll bite the bullet. I'll take the drink if I have to, but I'm going with Nova.
All right, I got.
That's a strategy play that makes sense. I feel like it has to be either Nova or you, Artist with a Fro, just because I feel like Jello wouldn't play Unchained. But then again, he, just like I, bought a lot of Megatins, but I haven't built my deck yet, so I know it's not me. Plus, I don't even know. I'm assuming the spell and trap cards get effects from destruction. I thought it was just the monsters, but that's how unversed I am with the deck. But I don't know. That's all I have to say, though, on this. I think I'm just going to go straight to voting soon.
All
right.
If no one else has anything. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
So I ran into this a couple of months ago
Oh my gosh!
when I was trying to build
Oh my
an
goodness!
Unchained deck.
Holy crap.
Instant revenge! Look at my shirt. guys.
We just got him the last time.
You guys like my sweater, by the way? But yes! So I saw this when I was opening up Invasion of Chaos packs I want to say 2 months ago, probably, when I first moved here. And it was actually... I had to look online to see if there was, like, an actual deck profile with this in it, and I saw one deck list on, I think it was, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro or something like that, YGO Pro. And yeah, it seems like a pretty good card. Like if you open with this and then 4 back row, huzzah! But I actually haven't built the deck yet. But I do have this in sort of the pile for that deck. So yeah, feels good. Feels very good. I thought I was gonna get found out again. Like no, I don't want to take another shot from being found out. All right.
Number 6.
Before we move on, though, how's everybody feeling?
Oh, sorry.
I'm
feeling
I'm
a little
holding up. Yeah, I'm holding up as good as I can.
That's good because I
That's
feel
all feeling
very
my fingertips,
warm.
so I'm good.
I feel very, very warm. Okay, so next we have
Circle of the Fire Kings in Salamangrate. Target 1 fire monster you control and 1 fire monster in your graveyard. Destroy the monster you control, and then special summon the other monster from your graveyard. And it's a hard once per turn, and it's a quick play. This seems pretty good. I think it came in the structure deck though.
yeah.
Okay,
So I'm going to clear my name right now. Anybody who watches my sealed only series will know that it is not me because I've been very public about this and I did not put this.
I think you recently made a not renovation. Maybe renovation. I don't know. I took 2 sips, so whatever. Words don't mean anything now. But, you did an upgrade to your deck, and you just haven't posted the video yet. So I think it looks like you might try to double fake us out. I know in our pre-meeting we discussed like, if we feel like Jello wouldn't put like hero as one of his things because we'd all point at him. But I feel like you either are psyching us out, or it could be someone else trying to throw you under the bus. Therefore, they are your enemy going forward once we find out whoever this actually is. If it's not you, Jello. But it's not me. Also, just I have to always.
You've done that tactic, JC.
But it's not me. I'll give you guys an in-depth explanation.
All I can say for certain is it is not me.
although, guys, in the gift that JC sent me for our Christmas gift exchange, there was one very suspiciously placed Salamangrate Heat Leo. So this
that
might have come from use.
It means I'm giving it away. That's how little I care about Salamangrates.
Handing the bag off to someone else.
Because as he mentioned earlier, this was in the This was in the structure deck for it, and he was the one to point it out. So it might be
I
him.
bought 6 of them for the Ash Blossom from Barnes and Noble.
Oh, dang.
Fun little secret market watch tip for you guys. If something's sold out everywhere that's Yu-Gi-Oh related, a set, Barnes and Noble online sometimes has it for the same price. So
weird.
Heads up, because no one goes to the random stores. But,
I'm giving
you advice.
I'm going to go with the chat. Chat says, Raining Card Game says, content creators always make stuff before releasing it. So JC has sound logic, meaning that casual card gamer would be the type of person to put this in his deck. If it is Forged in Flames and you have Circle of the Fire Kings, I think that's reasonable enough for me.
But the whole point is to choose things that people wouldn't associate with you.
Oh,
The perfect cover.
that's true. And Nova still hasn't. We haven't even picked a Nova card yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nova hasn't spoken either, which is very suspicious.
It's very sus. Emergency meeting. All right. So, are we going Nova? Are we going Nova on this, guys? Are you with me?
I had Nova typed out, but since you said it like that, I'm gonna actually.
Yeah,
You're gonna change it to me.
That's very enthusiastic.
Because it hasn't been Nova yet. We're halfway through the cards almost.
Okay.
There has to be at least one. One.
Oh, I see mine.
Yeah, where the other two? Somebody flip-flopping?
Okay, it's a tie here.
Okay. So who put this
Who
in?
is it?
So you really, it really is just helpful to make sure you have the right
gosh.
Salamangrate on board. So that when you reincarnation, like summon it. It really is that simple, folks.
I told you.
You got to do it like Team Sam. I told you.
We are both Canadian,
Right,
so
well,
I guess I told you.
The majority got
Told
me,
you.
so,
Oh man.
yeah. So Using probabilities against me. Math.
No,
you've once
you only
again
got half
become
of the
my
votes.
nemesis.
Oh, you only got half the votes though.
But
So
what
does
was
that
me?
does that go to? Okay.
I took a drink
Yeah,
because I caught I picked him. I picked you casual. So if
Yeah.
it wasn't, I just took the drink on.
You and me, artist, going down this road together.
Hmm.
Okay.
Feels
Number
good, feels
7. Time Thief Redoer in Vampires. Too many effects to read, but just and I feel like this is pretty new and iconic enough to we are all on the same page with this.
Yeah.
First off, I thought vampires were level 6. I could be because there's been like 8 waves of vampire support, all drastically different than the last. So I might be thinking of the wrong one, but maybe I don't know. They'll definitely have to explain themselves once it's not me and we find out who it is. That's all. I'm just gonna be short and sweet with this one.
Yeah, I know what Time Thief Redoer does, but I don't know what any of the vampires do. To be completely honest,
That sounds
my
like what a vampire
this-
player would say.
right.
I'm throwing this out there because I want to see if I'm right. This has to be something to do with rank up Magic Astral Force.
what does that
My
do?
It would turn Redoer into Dampier. That'd be pretty cool.
My
You know the names of the vampire cards?
right. I'm like
That's not,
Would you like to list them out
you
for
can
us?
say them. You can pronounce them.
Yeah. There's Crimson. There's Fraulein. Look. It's my first video I ever did. Of course, I know all.
Oh,
Which
that's
one?
also
Me.
I feel like someone could have,
my math is off because I was hoping that it wasn't going to be Nova last time because I was like, all right, so then that means that I can get like consecutive Nova guesses and be right. But I don't know now. Who would play? This is such a weird card to have in vampires. And vampires instead of like standard zombies. Why are you playing vampires?
yeah, why are you playing more than just Fraulein?
I know why. It's the lore.
Because it's yours.
It's Nova,
Oh.
guys. It's Nova.
Yeah.
I'm
rich vampire lore of. I don't know. They had a house party one time and they all got really wasted on blood. I don't.
Oh man, I'm starting to slur my words and my sentences.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna go with Nova.
Oh, Raining Card says it's
I
artist.
really like that.
Come on, guys, help me out. I've taken more shots. I feel like I've taken more shots than everybody else in this show. So
No,
I need a little more
I've been
cognitive help.
I've been drinking my eggnog on the side. It is most definitely not me.
4 cards so far, so I make sure. I've had a card. Artist has done 2. Yellow has 2. Has JC been hit with 2 yet, or are they still at 1?
I don't even remember.
I don't. Wait.
Right? I thought JC had 1 and you had 1. I think I might be like somewhere up with Jello here. Like I don't even know how many cards people have had.
I haven't even been keeping track.
I've had 2 or 3. Wait, are we talking about drinks or cards?
Cards. How many cards?
Cards.
Cards. Oh, I think I've had 1, but I honestly can't remember.
Well, the math
If we're
line's up
talking
on
about
that
shots,
one,
I've
so-
had to take one every round. So except for 1. So
okay,
I've
without
had
further
5.
ado,
Okay, I'm ready.
oh boy, 3.
Raining
2,
cards. If you're wrong, then I'm gonna be very
1.
sad.
So rank up Magic
Yes!
Astral Force is a busted tied in with the fact that AA Divine Arsenal Zeus exists. Vampires have had a resurgence. Eldritch has helped them out. Ballardrock is a busted card. Anybody that knows me, Rainy Card definitely gave it away. I hate zombie cards with a passion, and the only zombie deck that I ever said I was ever going to play was going to be vampires. And this Halloween, I made it my goal to make a vampire deck.
Feels so good. All right, I need to use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back if you guys want to bath.
That is perfectly fine.
Okay.
I could use a break.
Is Jello gone yet? Do you mind if we go to the next one just to have it on
Yeah,
screen?
that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Xyz's gift in Zodiac.
Oh.
Okay.
Raining card games, you called it.
So-
You called it. And Golden Nova knows the tech.
Yeah, you guys are like working together on this or something.
Oh, like, what? How does that fit? What's going on here? I'm glad we're on the same big brain level there.
I thought it was Jello because, like, with the parallel exceed, if I don't understand the tech, now I'm just gonna go for him because he has like the 300 IQ, like the one deck profile online that he took inspiration from.
My antlers are falling
but yeah.
down. Yeah, no, seriously. Oh man. Oh. Whew. I think that's my third card. I think right, I had Battle Wasp, Slacker, and Redoer. So Nova,
You're free of all suspicion now.
yeah, Nova, you mentioned something about Tri-Brigades. I'm gonna just choose this one for you because I don't know why. Zodiac's Tri-Brigades. I'm doing like associative hypotheses, I guess.
Big word.
Yeah, question.
Yeah, I agree because I feel like Nova is at least between me and Jello, we don't play like meta much, and I feel like Zodiac is relatively meta to where Nova would play the deck, and then Xyz's gift just seems spicy enough for him to pick it. And it makes sense to me, so that's why I don't think it's Jello. Honestly, it's kind of it's nice. This is still fun, but the fact that Artist is like out, it kind of like makes it slightly less fun because like then it's only a 50-50 shot basically, since I know it's not me, you know.
But he could get.
So-
He could still
I
guess
feel like
wrong.
every time JC's
yeah,
like,
he can
it's
still
not me.
vote.
Right?
I just realized
if I might advocate for myself. Oh, go ahead. You first.
I just realized as I was sort of like tumbling my way to the bathroom that we should have put in like 5 cards each and then randomized it and then cut it down to 12.
Yeah.
But
No, the
it's-
next time we all
Next time, yeah.
Well, next year. Next year.
Yeah, this is fun though. This could be like a channel. Like we can make a spin-off channel doing this. Every week.
Yeah.
Invite Raining, invite Shiggies.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Invite like everyone in the chat who knows how to play the game since they've seen it in action.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was
so,
actually thinking
yeah,
of
Jello.
Starting the what do you call it? The stream replays or like, you know, like the segments.
like
Like
clips.
this will be the first one just because it's so funny. But yeah,
Mhm.
this will be great.
Okay, so if I might advocate for myself, then
Okay.
since apparently JC's done a lot dependent on me, I will admit that when Spriggans came out, I do think Xyz's gift is going to be really interesting for that because you can just re-equip all those materials onto those X blowers, and you can just get free draws off of that. I think that's a really cool way to use that card. Anyway, my point is that it's JC because he has guinea pigs, and that's Tri-Brigade or Zodiac. So there you go.
I
The
think it's,
furries.
I don't even think there's a Zodiac 4 guinea pig.
No, but
So,
they're all adorable animals, so it's the only. It's
That's fair.
I
That's
want to
fair.
compound
it's
on
airtime
that.
logic, really.
I kind of want to compound that. I think it's JC just because hold on. I've had too many.
That argument means it's not me.
You sold me.
Oh,
you sold me.
during the putting together process of the bear with me with the Christmas gift exchange, JC asked me if I needed anything for my Zodiac deck because he knew that I was building one. So that sort of puts in my mind that he has Zodiac parts lying around and by extension maybe a Zodiac deck.
But then again, same thing with the Salamangrate, which was proven not to be me. I don't want the cards. Therefore, why would I build the deck?
That's true.
That's all I gotta say about that. But I guess it's on to voting. Or does
Yeah.
anyone else have anything left to say?
I'm
Voting?
good to go.
I've said my perfectly
Okay. 3, 2, 1. So it's frowned upon, and it was initially thought of when Zodiac first came out that this card would be good because it's very easy to go into Xyz monsters very quickly. I know it's not optimal right now, and especially when it was first like teched and like talked about, but I got my ulti copies sitting around. I'll take this drink with pride knowing that I have those ulti copies, so when Spriggans come out, I will be on stacks. So
All right. Yes. Whew. So
Okay.
how many have we actually gotten right?
I think we got
I think
like
three,
two,
three,
two or
Three.
three,
two.
three. I don't know.
We got Jello and me, right?
Yeah,
Let me
there
look
was
at the list real quick. Let me look at the list.
because there were some that we got, but it was like tied.
Yeah. So then the person didn't lose because even if one person guesses incorrectly, then they're safe. The person who it actually is. So while Nova looks though, I'm just gonna go on to number 9 here,
Yep.
which is Saravis, the Ancient and Ascended in any deck constructed by ArtistWithAfro. Sadly though, that's not the case, since we went through all of his cards already. But okay, so this is basically a hand trap in a way. I'm not gonna read the entire thing. I have touched this as well. I feel like so there's two prongs with this, right? So or 3 prongs, because the first prong is not me. The second prong is that the only deck I've seen this played in is Burning Abyss, which would be, of course, Nova. But the third prong is that Jello knows a lot of contemporary cards and a lot of cards from like, way back, since his break, I feel like coincided to this being in a gap. Like, I don't think Jello is familiar with this card. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you do correct me, that means it's you. So right now,
Oh my god. AC, you're so good at this.
You are
I've never
like,
played a
holy
meme.
cow.
man.
I should start.
Okay. Well, okay, so I have a question real quick, JC,
Okay.
since you are cross-examining. How in the heck is Saravius played in Burning Abyss?
So I think it was the what is it? The Sekka's Light build, because this is like something you can play that for protection, I think, that like is a monster, like you don't ritual summon it.
Okay,
It's a tech card because you don't have to
Kinda.
ritual summon it.
but we're not talking about Burning Abyss decks. We're talking about ritual
Yeah,
decks.
what
Yeah.
kind of
That's the throw off.
Yeah, that's the because obviously I glanced at this. I tried not to look at this list too hard when we were sent it, so that way everything was fresh. But I did go a once over, and this I was like, oh, it's ArtistWithAfro. Like, why would he possibly type this, right? But now that I know it's not, I'm actually confused with this one.
We are on
So
to day 186 of waiting for Konami to make a ritual structure deck. If this works somehow in Burning Abyss, then that is news to me, because like Drytrons is the only recent thing I've been trying them out with. I have no idea who would choose this card in anything that's not running rituals. So if you're saying it's casual card gamer, then sure, I'll go with that.
See, and I'm glad you brought that up, Artist, because it turns out that Drytron is probably the most anticipated archetype in Genesis Impactor. And who's the one spearheading the new series featuring Genesis Impact?
I don't want
There
to
you
play
go.
it though.
There you go.
I'm just hoping
don't
that
wanna
I win
play the most
second choice so I can get Evil Twins.
And the set comes with Ben-10. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
They want people to play that Cyber Angel variant. It's ridiculous.
Don't do it, folks. Put Ben-10 in any other ritual type thing, or just play Necros. If you want to play rituals, just play Necros. I am ready.
I
Okay.
got my
I
vote locked in whenever you're ready to go.
Okay, I gotta type it. As I'm typing, I guess I'll 3, 2, 1 send.
Damn.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm taking water as my replacement, drink. What's bad is that I poured myself a cup, so now I actually have to finish this before I go to bed. Not the smartest idea.
Yeah, I shouldn't have poured this much, but I think I can take it. But I wanted to originally put Blackluster Soldier, but I feel like that would have given it away because I've talked about it so much. I play it in Blackluster because the original variant that I was going with was playing, I think it was 3 copies of this and then 2 copies of Ash Blossom, just because of, all the negations and everything. And you can search this out with Chaos Space by dumping like an Evening Twilight Night to the graveyard and still get resources out of it. So yeah, that was the reasoning behind putting this in the deck. And cheers to all of you guys. I now play
number 10
an invoked BLS deck.
Wait, what?
I play invoked BLS now. It's very fun.
Oh, nice. Number 10. If there's any invoke cards on here, then you just expose yourself. But number 10 is Hop Your Squadron in Earthbound Immortals. Hop Your Squadron is a tuner, and that seems like too many words. It's too late at night, and I've taken 3 sips of alcohol, so you guys can just fill in the blanks there.
This one's really hard.
I'm not even sure who hasn't gotten voted. I'm just gonna say Nova. I think that this is I don't know. I'm just going based off who has.
So,
I'll go with you.
So Artist and Jello are out. None of these things can be them.
Okay. So it's either me or Nova. Okay, so obviously I think I can just start the countdown because it's Nova since it's not me.
Yeah, nice biased view. Everyone in chat, I'd like to let you know. I realize that if it is JC, then these next 2 are very boring. They have to be me. That being said, this charlatan is wearing light bulbs on their head. You can't. They're not making good. It's clearly a JC theater pick if I've ever seen one.
Okay, so since I've talked so much for all the others, I have to keep it up or else it might be suspicious. So I just gotta say, Earthbound Immortals, that seems like you would only play it for the lore. I don't think anyone's playing this deck for the gameplay at all. So that's why I think it's definitely more geared towards Nova. And since he is, I've said this I touched upon it, he is a smart deck builder, I feel. So I feel like this seems like a smart play, because Hop Your Squadron just seems big brain moves. So I gotta put my.
What does Hop Your
vote to
Squadron
Nova.
do?
What does this card even do? That's the real question, because it's a beast tuner, so this might be viable in Tri-Brigades or something.
I'll just read it then, because I can kind of read this. So during your opponent's main phase, as a quick effect, you can target one face-up monster you control and special summon Hop Your Squadron from your hand, and then afterwards, immediately, you synchro summon a synchro monster using only Hop Your Squadron and the card that was on the field that you targeted. And it's a hard once per turn. So it's kind of like, the synchro thing where you... Sorry, I got the hiccups now. It's the synchro thing where you synchro summon, on your opponent's turn kind of deal. It's like a weird, cool hand trap. So I guess Earthbound Immortals are level 10, and I feel like all their other support doesn't matter. So
what synchro are you using in Earthbound Immortals? That's the real question.
Yeah, exactly.
Big
I
synchro.
guess their new support has you can use the Moon Dragon and Sun Dragon, I think. Right?
No, but they need the specific tuners. They need Supe and Fire and Acid.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So-
See, I didn't know that because I don't play this.
But
I'm gonna-
you could be throwing us for a curve.
That was that. That's a good throw off to it,
This feels like your deck.
right?
The Inquisitor, everyone else is...
Does anyone in the chat have a clue? Have a guess? We'd like to know. Big Math Mech 12. Who would play that big level 12 Math Mech raining card games? Let us know.
Yeah, he's been pretty good at guessing, so like
Yeah.
we gotta hear his input with this.
They're in tune with nature. That's why they know.
That's true.
Oh, he's unaffected in the extra monster zone.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. That would be such an odd card to have in an Earthbound. I'm like, what? First off, what Earthbound Immortal are like? Is there a viable deck that runs more than one? Because Asclepiusco, I think, is the Hummingbird. That's like the strongest one recently because of the Dragon Link OTK or whatever. I don't know.
That's one Decatron has in all their FDKs.
Yeah, maybe there's a. I don't know. I'm trying to like remember the Earthbound Immortals. It's like they need the field spell to stay alive. Dangers. Oh, they might work with dangers. I'm gonna go with Nova. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I have to drink again, then so be it.
Feels really weird.
I don't blame you. The
I don't
numbers
know-
say it's me, but
I
remember
don't
what your
know-
heart says, though.
I don't know why, but whenever I see Hop Ear Squadron, I remember this one time JC and I were talking about this card, and how he said it was really good that it was getting a reprint.
This
In the
card got a
2020.
reprint.
Yeah,
oh.
the 2020 tin. I think it
in
was
the Megatins, yeah.
Artist is already done though.
I'm
We
out,
only have
Raymond.
3 cards each for this list. This is hard.
So 3, 2, 1.
Y'all, I can't believe how easy you are.
Come on. I switched it like at the last minute because I was like, oh, it has to be Nova. I mean, it has to be JC because he's been like, it's not me. Oh my gosh.
Oh, makes me feel so good. No, whoever called it in chat about using GeoMath Mech Sigma, yeah, that's what you would do. Because you can do it as a quick effect, you can do it in response to things like, oh, you have a nice field spell, I'll MST it. Joke's on you, I'm turning it into Math Mech Sigma, so now it's fine. The field
such a
spell
weird
actually,
play.
the new Earthbound Immortal field spell they made actually like requires you to just use synchros in general. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Sun Dragon, Moon Dragon. And if you go down the path of using Greater Line Walker to set your opponent in 3,000 and that doesn't pan out, you can transform. You can use the Line Walker's material with the Hop Ear Squadron to make Time Lord Vorpagate, and now you have a giant unaffected body that can clear the way for the rest of the life points for later turns.
Man.
Well, I hate to say I told you so, guys, but here we
Why
are.
didn't you listen to JC? He has 4 good ideas. How did you not get that?
I know.
It's every time he says it's not me, it's always like, but
I
really,
feel like
no.
it is.
But has it been me?
You're right.
Okay, so before we move on to
Number-
the next one, before we move on to the next one, I feel like
Okay,
number
yeah.
11 should be the last one, just because once this one's done, like we already know who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll look at it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. We shouldn't play for the last one because it sucks for them.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But okay, number 11. Okay, so it sucks for me because this is the true name in Sylvan. Declare 1 card name, excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is the declared card, add it to your hand. Then you can add to your hand or special summon 1 divine monster from your deck. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. So this has excavate, so that makes sense with Sylvans. Divine, I doubt you're doing the search for divine, but I don't think that's mandatory. Care to explain, Nova?
Oh, good trick. Good trick.
Oh, my camera die again?
So yeah, JC, what's the best divine beast you can get off of that?
Um,
I'm very curious.
I would assume it's the divine truth, aka this is not me.
Your improv is so good, JC. We
Right?
definitely need to
Oh
do
my
like a trip sometime.
gosh.
Thank you. It's called, but it is just me telling the truth the whole time. It's not really really improv, but I don't really have much to say on this. I actually again, going back to like scrolling through before the episode, I saw this and it like intrigued me. I do think this is one of the more spicy options that I would in the future one day potentially do myself, since it was such a good idea that Nova had.
I just want to say
Just
that
throw it in there right at the end. It's so look.
I just want to say that Artist and I
JC,
have everything to lose right now.
Yeah, right? Like,
I
oh
want to
man.
point out to everyone that JC has been pointing out every good reason to run this card. Like he's had it in the back of his mind for months now, and he's like, "Oh, this is a perfect opportunity to share with everyone."
I'm
The back, not the front. I haven't gotten to playing it yet.
Whoever's using this card, if there is some sort of Egyptian god card tech that somehow works in Sylvan's, like I'm really just eager to understand why this card is ever one of Sylvan's. If Sylvan's, it just seems like this declare one card type or one card name. Like, why is this not in spirals? This looks like the perfect card with Convulsion of Nature. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know.
Hey, chat, please validate it. It's JC. Come on.
Raining card games. We need you.
Spam JC in the chat.
We
but,
need you.
RCG, yeah,
Yeah, we need
You're carrying us right now.
You really are.
Oh man. I don't think I need to.
So,
Sphere mode is a good
Oh,
card.
is Sphere Mode a god? Is Sphere Mode is a divine card. Holy cow.
oh boy, wow! I know it's like a meme, but it's also genuinely true. RCG really is carrying this game right now with the actual reasoning behind it. These are
Fatal
all actually
Basil
his
says
submissions.
JC is sus.
JC does seem sus. I will vote for JC. Well, I mean, you guys agree, right?
I have seen sus, but every time it has not been me. So I just want to throw that
That is
out
also
there.
very true. But this time in particular,
I don't know. It's a 50-50.
you know what? I can't. You know, our RCG's been on a roll. I said I would never doubt him. So
Okay. RCG says JC.
Oh boy,
he said, "JC, I'm sorry." Okay.
I thought we were friends. I just said you were smart, and you do this to me. Oh boy.
He's on the side of justice, JC.
Okay, so the
burning bridges
countdown.
is an effective tactic when you're running away from the truth.
Emergency
So the
meeting.
countdown is 3, 2, 1.
Okay, there it just came up on my end. Guys, come on.
Oh no!
Come on.
Oh no.
All right. So I'm a very devout Sylvan player. I've been playing since Soul Charge, and then it got banned, so I just dropped it like a brick. So you don't even have to run any god cards for the true name to actually be good. You're stacking your deck with things like Mount Sylvania and Sylvan Charity. The fact that it says excavate and then send to the grave if you're wrong is all that it needs to be to just an enabler to just top deck any Sylvan and just throw it into the grave. But if you want to do like Raining Card Game said, you can grab a Sphere mode to remove difficulty, get rid of targets, or you can just summon Obelisk and swing in for 4,000. It's just an easy half their life points.
Oh man. Well,
I like this. Like I was telling the truth when I said that I will use this because this is like the tech that hits me the most. I think that of course wasn't my own. So 12 to see. I guess we'll play the game since we don't know who it is.
I wonder who it could be.
Black Garden and Crusadia Kaiju.
yeah. When I saw this list the first time, I was wondering. This feels really weird personally because I don't know what I'm not very familiar with the Black Garden, but if you could
So
explain.
I haven't played Crusadia Kaiju in actually a year, I think. So I'm very rusty, but I think this was just like to get monsters on board to kind of pierce through with Equimax, because like you can give it piercing and double damage and stuff like that. It's a simple battle tech that I picked up, similar to how Jello like picked up Griffin's Feather Duster from like another deck list somewhere. I just picked it up, I liked it, and I'm glad I got my copies. It was reprinted, but I remember there was like a window where this was like kind of expensive and like talked about, but I got them before that for this. So I don't know. I just figured it was a random enough card to put on this list, but it's not too crazy or anything. So sorry to end this list with a fizzle here, but
It's all right.
That's my last.
Still pretty cool. All right, guys, and that is it for this year's In the YugiKnow. So let me just get this back. Let me see if my drunk fingers can do it.
Oh,
properly.
sorry.
There we go. That's all good. It's all good. All right. So yeah, thank you guys so much for bearing with our drunken stupper tonight. I mean, at least the second half of the show. We are very, very, very thankful for everybody who was participating in the chat. We had Fusion Yu-Gi-Oh, ArtistWithAfro, Fatal Basil, JC Theater YGO, Tario Frost, The Death Machine, Crystal Abundance, Noel Garay. Let's see. I said Fatal Basil. Noel's other account, Noel Antonio. We had Raining Card Games, of course. Sakura, Noel Uwu, Zombie Slayer 9000, and I said Tario Frost. Alexis YT, thank you for watching us. Salamat. And I believe that should have been everyone. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. Oh, we had GoldenNovaYugioh in the chat. Oh my goodness.
Shut up. No way.
Yeah, it was
And
crazy.
I don't know if you said it, but Isa.
That guy owes me $30.
Aza Yu-Gi-Oh was also in the chat for a good bit, and we had a casual card gamer, that Scrub, and Natalie. Thank you for applauding at the very end. And guys, before we end this year's in the YugiKnow experience, is there anything you would like to say to the chat? We'll start with JC.
You're all a blessing. Thank you.
We got GoldenNova.
Oh, okay.
All of us.
We'll just let Nova, because he had thoughts brewing first.
No, really. Like, thank all of you. This is. I think I speak for all of us when I say that you're all a large reason about why we do this and why we decide to sit in front of a computer and edit stuff for several hours into the night. Because your reactions make it worth it. So thank you.
I couldn't agree more. Definitely also, not only thank you to the chat, which is always super fun to do this podcast live. It adds a great element to everything with the responses and just like the back and forth. But also thank you to the guests, because GoldenNova and ArtistWithAfro and Jello as well, for me, because he can't thank himself, but you guys all are great to be on. This was way more fun than I thought it could be, and I had high expectations, so it was definitely a very fun time, the beginning as well as the fun little game we played also. So thank literally everyone around me right now, I guess, is what I should say.
Yeah, and the thanks again just keep coming. Thank you, JC and Jello, for just organizing this space and having a space where, like, myself, GoldenNova can have the opportunity to just converse with more people that have and share the same hobby as us. And again, thank you to everybody in the chat that showed up as well for enjoying this content, enjoying this banter, seeing us make the wrong guesses and hearing us out and stuff. This has been such an amazing year for this hobby, and I am excited for what all of you are going to be doing as we move into the next year, and I can't wait.
All right, and I guess I'll.
That goes to. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Were you going to say anything about okay, I just wanted to say that goes into something that I wanted everyone here to briefly say, because I know we've extended this podcast episode quite a bit, but we'll have clips, so it'll be digestible. But does anyone here want to say anything? Do they have any plans for 2021 in terms of their content, in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh that you want to kind of promote here? Do you have anything you want to just say? You know what I mean? At the end of a press run, what you got going on at the end of the Hot Ones episode.
Well, I guess I'll start first because it's already sort of known, so that won't be much news. But we have Out of the Box starting filming later this week, actually. So hopefully, as soon as the product comes in, because that's basically what we're waiting for. As soon as that comes in, we will start filming and start getting the episodes out. And I'm super, super excited to be working with the individuals here. And maybe we'll have Artist with Afro on for commentary during the game episodes. Who knows if you have the availability as well. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching before we get into the closing bits. What about you guys?
Yeah, I can't wait for Out of the Box. This is going to be ridiculous. I can't wait for us to make the best out of some supremely unfun reprints. I don't know if I have anything new myself specifically. People seem to be liking lore stuff. I just have to find things to talk about that 30 other channels haven't done outstanding works with already. I'm looking forward to another project with Haver Cardman's Yu-Gi-Oh! Synthesis, where I will be thankfully working with Artist with Afro doing narration, and I can't wait for that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was going to mention Yu-Gi-Oh! Synthesis, but definitely check out the Haver Cardman. He has a new sort of product and project coming out. And that's something that myself and both Golden Nova will be a part of. So if you are followers or supporters of our channels, you'll also be kept up to date on that. Sealed Only will continue with the Ancient Warrior series. It might slow down after Blazing Vortex because that's supposedly the last set with any real support for them. But there will be sort of the backlog episodes which will be continuing, and we'll see where we go from there.
All right. And JC?
I actually want to revamp the channel the first of the year or the first month of the year 2021. Jello so graciously redid all of my assets. After this stream, anyone watching, including everyone in this podcast, look at my YouTube banner. It was made in MS Paint. So very poorly, I might add. Jello, like I said, redid all my assets, so I'm basically kind of rebranding. In addition to that, I'm really trying to focus more on the content I like. It is a joke, but it is true. I fell into a rut this year of basically just doing openings because I buy Yu-Gi-Oh products, but that's not really what I want to focus on for my channel. So I'm just kind of, hitting a soft reset a little bit, hopefully bringing some stuff that brings me more fun, because similar to how Jello spoke that he had a little bit of a burnout during the latter half of this year, I had that as well, but thanks to stuff like this, it's definitely lit the fire under me as well. So I think I can safely say, after everyone said their stuff, that 2021 looks very, very cool and promising of great content from us, in addition to, of course, all the amazing people we talked about today in general in the community.
All right. And before we end the last episode of In the YugiKnow for 2020, don't forget to subscribe to all of the wonderful gentlemen in this podcast. All of the links to all of their socials will be down in the description below. And as Sakura said, 2020 was a pretty hard year. Yes, it was. But I feel like if it wasn't at this difficulty, that we wouldn't have ended up where we are. So, just trying to find the very thin silver lining in what seems to be a very dark cloud of that is 2020. But guys, don't forget to stay tuned to all of our channels for everything that we are working on. And thank you all. Enjoy the holidays. Stay safe. I know that vaccines are finally out in certain places, so let's all make sure that we keep safe until then. And we will see you guys in 2021 on In the Yugi Know.
Mm-hmm.
Take care.
All right. Okay. Just have to wait a little bit.
Okay, finally.